Okay. Hi, I'm Scott, and I'm a wellness coach. And what a coach does is lead someone down a process from A to B. So we have an end goal in mind. So if the goal is to lose 20 pounds, and that's like the coaching goal is to get to that point. Now, for me, the coaching goal is to eliminate pain and resentment from past relationships. Part of what I do is help people to stop obsessing over their ex and the emotional burden of carrying resentment. When people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, when they say that to themselves, that's usually when they start looking for our help and they reach out to someone like me. I've been coaching people through this process since 2015 in my program called Get Mad, Get Even, or Get a Life. The thing is, I've been there too. I held resentment and pain in my heart for a really long time. And it's with you every day, regardless of how long ago the events happened that caused it. In fact, I carried resentment for over 25 years for my dad. And the way I define resentment in this program is a persistent complaint. So something that happens over and over. And when it happens, it impacts you again and again and again, as if it's the first time almost. If you've ever said to yourself, like your ex-wife does something that bothers you, and you said to yourself, oh, there she goes again. That's resentment. Now, I have one of those divorce horror stories you might have heard about. That was me, where you lost my job, I lost my house, lost the kids, went bankrupt, bank accounts frozen, spent some time in jail, lost my driver's license, passport, all taken away. It was a lot to handle. And that all happened to me. So you might think that maybe I was justified in being angry, or I could blame my ex-wife, or I could blame the system. And for a while I did. But holding on to all that resentment and pain, it negatively affected my life. It affected relationships with my friends, my parents, my family, with new romantic partners, because I showed up inauthentic. I was dissatisfied with life. I was untrusting of people, especially women. And that's no way to go through life. And at one point, a woman I was dating a couple of years after my wife and I split, she said to me, Scott, you have an emotional wall up and you're not letting me in. And she was totally right. I had that emotional wall up as a way to protect myself because I didn't want to let anyone close to me, because I had fear of being judged or shamed, rejected. All that culminated into me reaching out and looking for help. And that's when I found Get Mad, Get Even, or Get a Life. So I found Rod Meinecker, the originator of this program, and I joined his group process. And when you come to this program, you come with someone in mind for whom you have a resentment that you want to release. So I went to it with my ex-wife in mind. So I took it the first time, released the resentment. And I took it again with my ex-wife in mind, because I had a new resentment, new stuff had popped up. And after I did that process twice, then I realized that I had a resentment for my dad. And so I did it again with my dad in mind, because I really wanted to be rid of all of this negativity from my life. So I had to deal with it. After I'd taken the course several times, Rod said to me, Scott, you have grasped this so much that it's now a part of your life. It's how you live. You no longer have to think about it. In fact, I want you to help me teach this course. And that happened in 2015. And so I joined Rod in helping facilitate the program and instructing other people, leading them through this process. And this is how the process works. It's sort of three big categories of changes that happen. The first is perspective, where we look at how we relate to the past, and then we change how we feel about the past, because we can't change the past, but we can change how we feel about it and relate to it. And that actually impacts our future. So that's the first part, is perspective. The second part is about accountability, and that's where we take a look at how we've contributed to our own misery. And because when we take accountability, that's how we can really change our behaviors, and which changes our life. And the last part are declarations, and that's where we really put out into the world who we want to be. We decide how we want to show up in the world, and declarations are a really powerful tool in creating change. And when you release the resentment, it's like a different life. It's amazing because you're no longer reactive to things. You're no longer just trying to protect yourself and putting up walls, emotional walls, or all these different ways we protect ourselves. Because the thing is, protecting ourselves works for a little while, but like the lady I dated said, I had an emotional wall up. It protected me for a little while, but eventually it did me a disservice because I'm not letting people in. I'm not letting new things happen. I remember laying in bed during my first marriage, laying there at nighttime, thinking about all the things I wanted to say to my wife, the issues I was having, or things I thought we had to talk about, but I had so much fear about being judged or shamed or rejected that I never brought them up. I was worried about how she would react and all kinds of things. Contrast that to my new marriage. I got remarried a few years ago, and I have zero fear in bringing up anything that needs to be addressed about my own behavior, her behavior, the kids, whatever it might be, because to me, being authentic is more important than how she might react to what I bring up or what might happen because I bring something up. In fact, being authentic is more important to me than my marriage. Authenticity here, marriage here. And the reason is, if I'm not authentic, my marriage will not survive, or it'll be bad. And I went through that already, and I'm not going to do that again. There's no way. And from that has come this flood of a quality of relationship that I never thought I could experience with my wife, and it's kind of beautiful. And I give so much of the credit to my mentor, Rod Meinecker, for having brought me in. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2017. And at that time, I talked to his family about this program, about the work. And we decided it should carry on. And so I've carried it on to both honor Rod and also to serve the people that will benefit from this. This is a very powerful program, and it'd be a shame for it to not be out there in the world, ready for people to take. So this is what I'm doing now. If any of this is resonating for you, if any of this is making you think, hey, that sounds like me, I can relate to that, what I'd invite you to do is to book a call. Go to my website, click on that book a call link, and in a call, we will talk about if this program is right for you. Are you ready for the big transformation that happens? Because it is a dramatic transformation, and you have to take a lot of accountability. So are you ready for that big step? That's what that's all about. I'll find out more about you and your story. In the meantime, I invite you to follow me on social media, on my personal Facebook and also on my group Facebook. I post a lot of material related to letting go of resentment, how to identify it, tools to help get rid of it. So even if you never take the program, you'll get a lot of value just out of following that. If I can do it, you can do it. Not everyone has a story as dramatic as me, but you don't have to have a dramatic story to feel the impacts of resentment. So definitely, it is possible to release. It is possible to move on from the pain. It takes some work. It takes the effort, and you can start that effort by reaching out and following my material. And if you think the program is right for you, then we'll take you through that process. It's very transformative. It's a healing process, and I know I speak from experience. It really changed my life, and it could do the same for you.